Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another live stream. I know the background is different today. We're going to live stream from the living room with this beautiful snowy background and the Christmas tree today because I didn't feel like going out to the bar. But that does not mean that you do not need to pay your bar tab still. Like the video, hit that subscribe button. Excuse me. Because at 10,000 subscribers, we're giving away 10,000 Caspa whenever that decides to happen. So all you need to do is subscribe. It's free. You'll be entered to win when the time comes. I apologize, too, if I sound a little sick. I'm on the verge of getting sick, I believe, because everybody else in the family is sick right now, including my little daughter, who it's the first time being sick, which is kind of hard to watch. It's sad. She's got a cough and stuffed up and just doesn't feel good. So, that being said, the big news today, for those of you guys who did not see it anywhere else, is actually, I'll pull that up in 1 second. The other thing I want to talk about today, though, is a theory that I've been thinking of, because I've been thinking a lot about the Bitcoin security issues that are going to potentially arise in the next 10, 15 years maybe. And I was thinking about it, and what if Bitcoin just isn't scalable and they can't figure anything out and they decide to do something drastic? And I want to go over that at some point a little bit later on. But we're going to start today. First of all, how are you guys doing? Hopefully the sound's okay since I just rambled for 2 minutes, 4 minutes. Also, man from Bogota says he's always late, but funny thing is, you were here. You were in here while the intro was going, before I even came on screen, and also you're the first one to comment. So you're not late. By my standards, anyways. Okay. Let's get into it. Let me pull up my internet real quick, if I can find it here. And shout out to Pumpolinski for screenshotting this, because hashtag Yonatan has since deleted this tweet, I believe. And what it said is, I've met with a professional crypto marketing team today. We'll start working with them next week, which is pretty interesting news because, and I imagine the community is split on this because, you know, Bitcoin doesn't really market. Kind of all the other projects that are proof of stake do have a marketing team and a budget for that. So I'd like to hear your guys' thought on this. First of all, I'll tell you mine. This tweet was deleted because apparently he doesn't want to use the word marketing team, and in an actuality corrects himself here. Says, LOL, I did not mean to mean or wish with a professional or meet or work. Sorry, the typing is really bad here. I did not meet or work with a professional marketing team. I wrote like 2 seconds after that a clarification, but it was too late for some people that already took a screenshot of that original tweet, which Pumpolinski did post. Professional marketing team, no. No successful crypto project has it. Professional media outreach team, yes. Many successful crypto projects have it. So I guess the wording marketing team is something he didn't want to use. Now, to me, when I look at both of these, basically a professional media outreach team is another way of saying professional marketing team, in my opinion. It just maybe sounds a little bit more kosher. I, for one, think that, I mean, I guess I understand what he meant. I think the meaning behind this is a marketing team kind of gives the opinion or the vision that it's just, we're going to throw out a bunch of shills for Caspa, right? Shill posts and all that kind of stuff. Whereas a professional media outreach team sounds a little more professional. And I think the theory behind doing this is, from what I've heard, is kind of what Shy used to do without the political drama. He was good at relaying technical information to the public in the community in a way that was digestible, even though he was a little hard to understand at times. But I think that is the main purpose of this, is to just kind of reach these different avenues of the crypto world, right? And maybe even the mainstream world, I don't know. But basically bringing the technology and what they're doing behind the scenes into a digestible, easy to understand format, right, for regular people like you and I, who, well, maybe some of you guys understand some of that deep technical stuff, but I don't necessarily. Some of it's hard for me to understand. I'm not a developer or anything like that, so I think overall this is actually a very good thing, because I think what this is going to do is bring the outreach of the project to a wider variety of people and just a wider audience as a whole. And like he said, a lot of most successful, crypto projects use a professional media outreach team, which in my opinion is just a better way of saying a marketing team. Not shilling the project, but just relaying information, in a more dumbed down way for the regular public. I think any time that you can find new avenues to get new eyes in front of the project is a good thing. And apparently they have found some sort of budget to be able to work with to pay somebody to actually do this for them. This may, in turn as well, help with the centralized exchange listings too, in some form or fashion. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I feel like the more the word gets out there, the more popular Caspa gets, the more pressure some of these bigger centralized exchanges are going to feel to, want to list Caspa and get the trading fees and the trading volume from it, and not get left behind. Obviously, wallet number one, whoever that is, could possibly be an exchange already accumulating and ready to list when the timing is right. Now, the timing looks like it has changed, because I don't think there's going to be any crypto project that's going to be pumping to the moon in the next 6 months. I think we're going to, as you guys have heard me say before, I think the first half of next year is going to be kind of like a mild mini bear market to an extent. I think there's going to be a catalyst at some point as well that, kind of like COVID was, not to that extreme, that's going to flash crash the market in that time period as well, which will allow for better buying opportunities too. Middle of next year is when all of the macro headwinds kind of start moving out of the way, the clouds start clearing, liquidity is pushed into the market, quantitative easing starts, stimulus checks go out to everybody, or a lot of people in the United States, and interest rate cuts are going to probably plummet. Or interest rates are going to plummet. The cuts are going to come probably pretty quickly, because I imagine whoever Donald Trump appoints as Fed chair is going to be in his pocket and do what he wants pretty much, right? And he's going to want, going into the midterms, for the markets to look really good. So that's part of the reason why I think the second half of next year could be good, right? Time will tell. So, based on the title, and I see you arcade fan, Caspa will not pump anytime soon, and I don't think it will. Although, there's a chance. I wasn't on this boat earlier. There's a chance that Caspa could lead the next bull market, where it starts pumping in the bear market. Well, you could argue whether it's going to be a bear market or it's just a mild downtrend for 6 months or so, where it starts to pump while the rest of the market is going down, because it's done it before. Usually it doesn't happen 2 bear markets in a row, but we'll see. But that is a possibility. I wouldn't rule anything out in this market. We've already been thrown a curveball, although in hindsight we probably should have seen it coming. It's just hard to know until things actually come about. I thought there was a chance that we would get enough good news, right, to pump the markets in Q4, and that clearly is not happening. And so we've got to react to the curveball thrown. And again, the only thing I can tell you guys is at some point we are going to see another altcoin season. And I don't know exactly when that point is going to be now. It could be end of next year. It could be into 2027. We may have to wait till 2029. I don't think that's going to be the case, especially since next year, this year kind of represented 2019 as macro and liquidity was involved. And so it wouldn't surprise me if next year is 2020, or maybe it just jumps straight into 2021 and we get a massive pump. I don't know, but the macro headwinds are going to be gone next year, and I don't know if we're going to pump immediately. Usually we don't, but we've already been thrown curveballs, and so what's another one, right? You just gotta be ready for them as they come. But that's another reason why they say time in the market is better than timing the market, because it's very hard to time the market. But if you're just in the market long enough and you're patient and you wait and you're DCAing and buying quality assets, then eventually you're going to make money. It's that simple. It's just a lot of people can't stomach the volatility, and a lot of people get fed up and get scared and they exit just to see the train leave the station shortly after. And that's the person you don't want to be. But yeah, there's at this point, I don't know if we're gonna look at something else here in a second, but I don't know if you guys follow me on X. If you don't, go ahead and follow me. I posted the other day. In fact, let me. There we go. Let me pull that up. I posted, I think this was just 2 days ago. These kind of posts don't really get a lot of views. Some of the other things I post do it. I don't know what the difference is, but I just opened up my weekly buys again because I think that we're going to go through a period here for probably a good 6 months where, roughly 6 months, where we're going to have ample time, again, to DCA into crypto or other assets for that matter. And I had been kind of sidelined. I was happy with my bags, and I wanted to make sure I had some cash on hand for any emergencies that might have come up or whatever. But I think I'm at the point now where I want to increase those bags, right? If we're going to have, a number of months now before we even might start to see what we saw in 2020, then what I want to do is increase the size of my bags in that period of time. And so that's what I've decided to do. I've decided to set up weekly buys on Kraken, by the way, because I want to, I guess, honor Kraken for listing Caspa. I could have done it on, well, actually, I couldn't have done it anywhere else. I could have done it on some sketchier, smaller exchanges like Mexi or something, but Kraken makes it easy, and I'm weekly buying, automatically comes out of my account, Caspa and Sui, because those are the two projects that I'm the most convicted in. Obviously, Sui, just because of the VC backing, a lot of the same backers as Solana, and I want to have a piece of that. So those are the two that I've started DCAing into again on a weekly basis. On top of that, though, I have set limit orders because I think there's a chance that we get another flash crash in the next 6 months. I've set limit orders at 1 cent and a half a cent for Caspa. And I believe I set a limit order at like 40 or 50 cents for Sui. But the reason I'm doing that, think about, go back, 6 months from now, and think about the topics that we were talking about. Did anybody ever think that Caspa would have crashed back down below 1 cent? The vast majority of you would have said no, right? It's past that. It's matured enough now. It's never going back down below 1 cent. Now, what happened? I think that was last month or the month before. I can't remember the exact date, October 10th or something. Don't quote me on that, September. Maybe it was October. I don't know. Anyways, we had a flash crash. You guys remember it. I know that you guys remember it. And Caspa flash crashed down below 1 cent. And I think it was sitting at like 7 or 8 cents at the time. None of us thought that could potentially happen. But crypto is absolutely crazy. Things that you don't think could ever happen, happen. To the upside and to the downside. And so what I've done is I've set limit orders for Caspa at 1 cent and a half a cent. So that if for some reason we get these crazy flash crashes again, hopefully my order fills and I get to buy a bunch of Caspa, I would a half a cent would be amazing, especially if it just V-shaped recovered right back up to like 5 cents. And the amount of money that you make in a matter of seconds or minutes is substantial. The last flash crash, I was able to catch, I think, 2.5 cents with a buy. I didn't have any orders set, so I just got lucky that I woke up. I was taking a nap with my daughter. I woke up, somehow was summoned in my brain to look at my phone and check the portfolio, and I saw the massive red candles, and I immediately went in and bought some Caspa and I caught it at 2.5 cents on the way back up, which is still an excellent buy. But I would have loved to have caught it below 1 cent, because that would have been another, 2x lower for the rebound back up. It's a lot of money difference. Yeah, it was October 10th. Thank you, Bingo. I was at least right with the 10th. But I just wanted to fill you guys in on exactly what I'm doing. If the price decides to skyrocket for whatever reason this month, then I'll just probably cancel the weekly buys moving forward and just keep the money in my bank account until we go lower. But I don't think that's going to happen anymore. I'm now convinced that the liquidity cycle is a liquidity cycle. It's usually roughly 4 years, but it expands here and there. History will tell us. And I guess this is probably the expansion time period. So it might be 5 years, it might be 6 years. The people in charge will pump the markets when the people in charge are ready to pump the markets. That's all we got to remember. They want to make money too, so if you're patient and you swim with the whales, you will make money. You sell when they sell and you buy when they buy. Right now the whales are buying because wallet number one, for those of you guys who didn't see this, I'm sure you have it by this point. This was a few days ago on the 9th. Bought another 20.3 million Caspa. And that was about, I think it might have been less than a week after they bought 33 million Caspa. So they're loading the hell up. They know something that we don't know probably. Whether it be some massive news, whether it be just the fact that they're, convinced that Caspa is the next big thing, or there's exchange listings that they know will happen at some point, that they've been told something's going on with them. They understand. And maybe it is an exchange, and they're just loading up so that they can list at some point. A lot of people are speculating that instead of Binance now, it's Crypto.com, which is possible. Somebody big. Okay. Wait a minute, is this the life? Bro, do you think Caspa can pump without VProgs? Yeah, it already has. Remember, it started from zero up to, at one point, it was almost a $5 billion market cap. And smart contracts weren't even launched yet. VProgs weren't even thought about yet. A lot of times, cryptos don't pump on technical upgrades. They pump on hype and marketing and exchange listings a lot of the time. And so that's kind of why I'm excited about this little what does he call it? It's not a marketing team, guys. It's a media outreach team. Because they're going to be able to push out and get Caspa in front of, push out info and get Caspa in front of hopefully more eyeballs, who then do their research, who then understand what it is and where it's potentially going. I'm kind of interested to know who this company is that he's talking to as well. Maybe we'll get to know by next week. Because if it's somebody like that we know that's working with other projects that has been successful, then it could be pretty big news. Although I don't really know any marketing companies that work for other crypto projects. Maybe it's all behind the scenes. What's going on, Yugi? Hello. Yeah, Mila, I already answered that. Maybe I was answering it while you were typing. Or maybe you typed that before I actually started answering the question. Either way, go back. I think it's a good idea. I like the idea of it. What's up, Bingo? Bingo Bango. Yugi says, I heard Egra launch mainnet this month. And TGE next month. What do you think about that? And also their ecosystem. And also Caspa Finance officially partnered with Egra. I am actually excited about Egra. To be honest. I think that they are going to have a much better product. And also the KII is launching, I believe, on Egra. At least originally. I think they're doing their own layer 2 at some point, but I don't know if it's going to be ready by the time, they need to start using Caspa, and Egra Labs will be set up for them. I actually saw, I don't know if I can find this. Somebody, I thought I reposted, maybe I didn't. Somebody made a post on X. If I can find it, I'll repost it on my X page. So if you want to see it, make sure you follow me there. But I'm going to go back and try and find it. Maybe I just liked it or something. Anyways, it was basically stating that the vast majority of the public, like us, we don't want to transfer crypto through a bridge from a layer 1 to a layer 2 because there's too many steps and it turns people off, especially people who don't understand, really how to do things. It's confusing, it's scary. People want all of that kind of stuff to be going on behind the scenes where they don't see it. And so this individual, which I will shout him out at some point once I find the post, was saying and asking the devs to and Egra Labs, for instance, if they can make all of that that bridge stuff just go behind the scenes, so that the users can just click around like it's Web 2 and not have to worry about the clunkiness of Web 3, right? From here to here, bridge it here, bridge it there, bridge it here. And I thought that was a very good idea, because think about this for a second. Apple, or you could pretty much think of a lot of different companies, but Apple, for instance, it's very clean and easy to use, right? For the most part. And I think, and that's why they become so successful. It's simple. And I think most people want simple. And so if Egra Labs can come out with a layer 2 that's simple and that doesn't have multifaceted transferring coins on bridges from here to here and here, kind of like Casplex did, then I think the successfulness, I don't even know if that's a word, of Egra Labs and then in turn Caspa will be a lot higher. And I kind of wonder what you guys think about that, because how many of you guys still use anything and transfer back and forth from layer 1 to layer 2 on Casplex? I stopped because it was kind of annoying. I don't really like doing that. And so why can't, like Solana, for instance, everything is very simple and very uniform and very, and I know it's a centralized project, but it's just easy to use for the average person. And I think that that's probably why it caught on like it did, like wildfire. And I wish and hope that Caspa and the people building L2s on Caspa can take that into consideration when they are, building these layer 2s. And I don't know anything about the behind-the-scenes stuff, so maybe it's a lot harder to do it like that. Maybe it's not possible to do it like that. But I imagine there's a way, and I think that would be the icing on the cake for adoption if it was just simple, efficient, and just very easy to use, just like an Apple product. That's what I hope comes out of this at some point. Nonetheless, I'm happy about Egra. Okay, I want to throw out this theory, okay? Because, again, I've been thinking about the Bitcoin security issue. Excuse me. What if down the road they just can't find a solution? What if miners start dropping off? What if they panic and they say, the only way to fix this without Bitcoin imploding on itself is to transform into proof of stake? What if all of these institutions who are now, into Bitcoin, who don't really understand the, significance of it being proof of work and the significance of the technology behind it, want to get staking rewards, just like Ethereum does now? What if that's more important to them than the actual underlying technology that Bitcoin runs on right now? Because a lot of these institutions just buy Bitcoin because their friends bought Bitcoin and it's the cool thing to do. I don't think they really understand it. And what if it was brought to them and they control the vast majority of Bitcoin now and are able to make decisions for the project, And they say, why don't we transform Bitcoin, just like Ethereum did, into proof of stake, and then we can get staking rewards and get residual income on our Bitcoin, just like Ethereum does. And I was thinking, what if that happened? What if down the line, you're going to have a lot of the OGs probably sell their Bitcoin in that scenario, but that's a way that it would take away the security budget issue completely, because now everybody who wants staking rewards and residual income from Bitcoin would just have to create a node or stake their Bitcoin, and what that does is technically keep up the security. It's not exact, but that's how you keep the protocol going. And you're getting dividends back, I guess, in the stock world, which a lot of these people came from, back on your Bitcoin. What if something like that happened? And then, if that happened, what is now the top of the food chain when it comes to proof of work projects? What if Caspa has garnered a lot of adoption by then? What if Caspa is known to a lot more of the world than it is right now? What if Caspa becomes the prized store of value, proof of work coin in the crypto space, just like Bitcoin is today? Because of Bitcoin making the mistake. Or maybe, if they really can't scale it, maybe it isn't actually a mistake at that point in time to transform Bitcoin into proof of stake. I don't think that's actually going to happen, just to throw that out there. But my mind was turning, and I'm like, what if? What if all of these institutions who don't really know what they're doing all of a sudden are like, we want dividends on our Bitcoin. Let's turn it into proof of stake, just like Ethereum did. And then we can just make income as we hold it in our wallets, not understanding that they've just made a huge mistake. Although I guess if there really isn't a scalable option and they can't figure it out, maybe that is the only way to save it, which would be interesting in the meantime. But either way, that benefits Caspa, in my opinion. Obviously, that's farther down the road. We don't have to worry about that now. But I thought it was an interesting concept that there's a chance that could happen, you know. If that's even possible. I think it's probably possible. Arcade fan, do we get stimulus checks next year? We are supposed to. Yes. It wasn't called a stimulus check. It was called something else, but it's basically a stimulus check. And it's supposed to be $2,000 to everybody who makes under a certain amount of income. I think it was $200,000. Gets a stimmy check of $2,000. At least that's what's proposed as of right now. I don't know. I guess things could change. And it's supposed to be, I think that they said like, it was a month with an M. I think it was March or May of 2026. So that just adds into the flood of liquidity that's going to come. Hey, Catman, happy holidays. Thanks for moving things to your cozy living room with the tree and the fireplace. I'm thinking that I'm going to end up with lumps of coal in my stocking for Christmas. Well, that sounds like a personal problem, Jack. If you were bad this year, then that's between you and Santa. If you get coal or not. But maybe that's a learning opportunity to be a better human next year. The markets are going to give us coal this year. Yes, macro liquidity is coming in. Marketing is very much needed. Majority of people don't care about its revolutionary tech. We in it to make money. Marketing will definitely help. I agree. Yeah, the diehards care about the technology, obviously, but and that's amazing, right? At its base level, but in order to bring in, I think, masses, you're going to need some sort of. It's going. Let me put it this way: it's going to help. To have some sort of marketing that reaches more people than myself and other small YouTubers can reach. Riley says, I'm doing the exact same thing with Kraken just because they listed for free and they are good exchange. Easy on and off ramp. Yeah, that's exactly why I chose Kraken. Pay them a little bit of respect for listing Caspa. And they are easy to use, so that helps, obviously. October 10th doesn't count. What do you mean that doesn't count? Yeah, well, it doesn't matter how it happened. It happened. If you were able to pick an exchange... I bought my Caspa at 2.5 cents on that fall, straight from my Tangem wallet. I swapped in my Tangem wallet for Caspa during that period. Yeah, but it doesn't matter how it happened. It still happened. Caspa went below a cent. A lot of projects, deep red candles. Even if it was for a quick second, that's called a flash crash. It happens all the time. No matter what the reasoning was, it happened. And you were able to buy your favorite project at a very, very, very discounted price, and it went back up almost immediately. Because the Caspa I bought for 2.5 cents, like even right now I'm up 2x on that, right? I don't even know what the price is right now. Maybe even... a little more than 2x. Yeah, it's the same thing. Like, stuff like that happens multiple times per cycle. Whether it's Binance, whether it's somebody else. Whether it's manipulation, whether it's natural, doesn't matter. It still happened. And I still bought Caspa for a very low price. Yeah, Mila, Tangem Visa card is coming out very soon. Great way to use your crypto without selling it and sending it to the bank for fiat. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know exactly when it's officially coming out. I'm on the waiting list. I haven't received an email yet. But I will definitely talk about that as soon as that email comes in. And they're ready to send me my card. I don't know what the fees are going to be like, so it may not be very efficient. I don't know. But in theory, the concept of it is amazing because it'll be very easy to spend your crypto without transferring it, like you said, way back and forth and back and forth. You can just transfer it once to the Tangem Visa card and then go and spend it at any place that accepts Visa. which I think is an awesome idea, providing the fees aren't outrageous. You are going to have to KYC too, but I mean, I don't think any of us were expecting to be able to use a Visa product without KYCing. My theory is that Bitcoin will have to copy Caspa's code. Then it will be scalable. Maybe they just want to see if Caspa can do it without problems. Well, the thing is, I mentioned this last week as well. Jonathan was in the Bitcoin community back in 2011, 2012, and he brought the Caspa technology to the Bitcoin community back then. As a way of scaling Bitcoin, because he foresaw the future of this being an issue, right? And he understood that in order for this to be successful as payment, it needs to be scalable. And Bitcoin just wasn't. It was clunky. And he was rejected. He tried again a second time at a conference to open some people's minds to the fact that this technology will help scale Bitcoin. And he was rejected a second time. And therefore, out of being rejected twice, he invented Caspa. Caspa grew from being rejected from the Bitcoin community twice. And that's why Caspa exists today. And so I don't know that Jonathan's going to have any sort of desire to help Bitcoin scale. Or maybe he will, because he thinks, if Bitcoin doesn't make it, then the crypto market as a whole won't make it. I don't know what's going to happen down the line, but he's tried. He was a Bitcoin community guy very early, was helping work on security protocols for Bitcoin back then, and brought this technology to the community very, very early, and was laughed at. I don't know if he was laughed at, but he was rejected twice. And from those rejection roots, Caspa grew out of the ground. All right, guys. I got to take off. Starting not to feel very good. Fiance's got to go do some things, even though she's not feeling good. I got to go watch the baby, who's also not feeling good, and go eat some dinner. So I appreciate everybody for hanging out. Make sure you pay your bar tabs on the way out. Subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. And like the video. And make sure you guys have set your limit orders if you can, just in case we get a flash crash. Those are the best opportunities. And continue to DCA. Pack your bags before it's too late. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.